Hello, everyone. We are getting ready to go on a wonderful walk talk. So get those shoes on, and we're just about set to hit the trail today. I wanted to just share a few words about our topic for today, which is when broken people enter our lives. What you need to know. This walk talk we're going to take today is long overdue. I just want to say this up front. You hear this word broken. It's not so much about being broken and brokenness. Some of us, we're working through brokenness right now. Most of us have been broken emotionally a time or two. That's not really the point. The point is your levels of awareness about what is going on with you. Accountability. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you healing? Do you have a plan to manage things when you get triggered? So I'm going to get into what is the definition of being broken. I'm going to talk about the power of staying out of other people's matrix. And like I said, this whole topic, it's just long overdue because people are losing sleep. You're dealing with folks, you're losing sleep, losing peace of mind. So we're going to put some perspective on that today. Come on, get those shoes on. Join Auntie Sheila for a walk. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, and welcome back to the Lift with Sheila Robinson Kiss. We are back out here. This is a new spot for me, but it's so gorgeous. And we're going to go ahead and start the way we always do. On the Lift, we've got it all: mental health, movement, motivation, and the best relationship advice around. Let's go ahead and make a wish. Make a wish on the beautiful water well here. You see, before we get into our hot topic for the day. Did you make your wish? I made mine. You guys, don't stop wishing, hoping, dreaming. Wishes come true every single day. All right, let's get going. Hope you got your shoes on. I don't have my gym shoes on today. I've got my boots on. I must tell you before we get started, it's raining out here just a little bit. It's very light. If need be, I'm gonna have to dash back to the car to get my umbrella. But let's just see how things are gonna go out here. So again, welcome back. The topic today is just straightforward, right between the eye. When broken people enter our lives, what you need to know. This message today is probably going to have some twists and turns that you were not expecting, but that's okay. I do like to keep you on your toes. So what I want to start out with, because quite frankly, let me cross the street here. Quite frankly, this word broken has been bantied around a lot. But what does it really mean? Okay? So let's start with a definition. You're not going to read this definition anywhere else. This work is my life's work, my area of research. So when I'm researching and I cannot find a word, the definition that suits my interest, suits the knowledge base, what I've learned, I'll give you a thorough definition. And here it is. A broken person, a man woman, or child actively living out their trauma and unaware of the impact of their energy and behavior in the lives of others. This is really important, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat it. Definition: a man, woman, or child, here's the key word here, actively living out their trauma and unaware of the impact of their energy and behavior in their lives and the lives of others. Very thorough definition. Now here's the difference. Here's the difference. I want to draw a distinction. Oh, let's say hello to our friends. These are these are the most loyal fans ever, because they're here every time. Every time I come for these walks, they're here. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Hey, shout out to you too. So there's a caveat here, and there's a distinction, because don't misunderstand. The issue is not about being broken and brokenness. That's not the issue at hand. It really is a person. Are you aware of your history, trauma, your triggers, and the impact of you? So, as I'm walking and sharing with you all, I can say no problem. I'm not a perfect person. You know that if you've been a member of the channel for any length of time. I've pretty much been very candid. I'm aware of my history, trauma, triggers, and the impact of me. So it's not to say that there's not things I have worked on with great vigor, things I am working on. We all have had levels of brokenness. Some of that can be very active. But this is what I want to connect you with. Is there awareness? Awareness of it, because with awareness comes a level of accountability. Accountability, and that's what this video is about. When people enter your life with no level of awareness or accountability to manage themselves. And if you encounter one of these individuals and you don't know what you're dealing with, I'm here to tell you, my friend, your life will be turned upside down. And I thought that this video is long overdue, because somehow in my work, this keeps coming up. It's come up for me. People will reach out and they're feeling bad. Sheila, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I've done. I've been cut off. There's strange behaviors going on. I feel, and these people are feeling bad. I've been in the same position. And this is what I want to connect you to. If you're one of these people who feel bad when others, they're funny with you, they back away, I'm here to tell you, I value and treasure you. You know why? Because you're a person that cares. You're likely a sensitive soul. You feel that energy deeply. You're probably an empath. Because I have some friends, they've told me over the years, hell, Sheila, I don't know what. Girl, why do you let this stuff bother you? Just, buck up, whatever the case may be. Let me tell you, they're wired differently. They're wired differently. Those of us who are sensitive souls, we can feel this. We have a sensitivity. It's a playbook. You need a playbook to manage and to understand what's going on. That's what this work is about. And quite frankly, I love this work so much. I love connecting with all of you. It's no sense in me lying. The hand of God combined with this work, this is what has set me on a path. The path to emotional freedom and joy. So here it is. What I want to do today, I want to approach this in a different way. I'm going to share with you through stories. Share and teach through stories, real life stories that of individuals I've worked with or experience I've had. I'm going to give you 4 or 5 of those so you can truly understand where I'm coming from. And then I'm going to go ahead and deliver the playbook for you. Because honestly, what good is a channel? We all want, we can come together, but I'm really about solutions for all of you. So what I'm going to share with you next, these are real life stories of encounters that people reaching out. They've had these individuals come into their lives, people who are broken, not accountable, and they've been flipped upside down. So they reached out, Sheila, I need some support, some answers. Story number 1, never forget it. This gentleman reached out to me, basically despondent, frustrated, upset, and said, Sheila, I'm dating this woman for about 2 months, and I feel like this is a good time for her to meet my family. I was really enjoying our time together. So my parents said, why don't you come over for dinner, bring her. We'd love to meet her. On the way, my sister's car breaks down. She's about 10 minutes away. Anyway, I leave her at the house with my parents, and Sheila, they're lovely people, very mellow. I come back with my sister. We get through the dinner. As soon as we're in the car, I basically get this cold shoulder and then Armageddon. And she unleashes, and it's basically, you disrespected me. How could you leave me there with them? You went to get your sister. She wasn't friendly. I can't believe this. And she started rattling off some things. To be honest with you, it scared the hell out of me. Okay, I want you to hold on to that story and keep in mind, if she was uncomfortable being left alone, okay, maybe she's more on the shy side. How she handled it, that was a disproportionate, that was an inappropriate way to handle that, okay? So there's a red flag right there. Hold on to that. We're going to come back. Second, real life story. I'm going to share with you, again, this woman reached out. Sheila, moved into a new house with my family. We hit it off pretty well with our neighbor. We moved in the winter. Had gone over to each other's house a few times for coffee. Thought everything was fine. The spring comes. We have family. We invited them for a barbecue. We also invited our neighbor that we thought we were, building a nice rapport, a nice friendship. We invited our neighbor over too. Not only did he not show up, he gave us the cold shoulder after that. He called the police on us. We probably didn't have more than 14 or 15 people in our backyard. Pretty, a quiet event, nothing crazy. So, after that, we were just perplexed, tried to fix it, couldn't really get through to him, and to this very day, that neighbor just all of a sudden distanced himself and is still distant. The third story I want to share with you, this is a story from my own personal file. I love this park. I love this part of the park that we're in, so I'm going to slow down a little bit here. So this was some years ago. I was working on a project with some colleagues, and we had come together. We wrote a proposal. This proposal got accepted, the grant idea got accepted. And shortly after that happened, one would think this would be a very celebratory moment. It was not. One of the colleagues who was partnered with all of us, she just kind of, she got very cold, did an about face, withdrew from the project. We're all reeling, not understanding what happened. We're going back and forth. Did we do something? Did someone say something? And the team would get together and we just were racking our brains. I want you to hold on to that. I'm going to come back to that because we made a crucial mistake that you can never make when you're dealing with this perplexing behavior that comes from broken, unaccountable people. We stepped into the matrix and really started to feel so bad, and it lasted quite a long time. And then the last story, and I really just, this one not only concerned me, it has stayed with me all these years because I think it truly illustrates where when you don't take care of your mental health and you know that there's aspects of your person, of yourself, that's compromised, this is what it can look like. So a woman had reached out for counseling, and she reached out because she was quite lonely. Later in life, the friendships and affiliations just weren't there. And I was doing my level best to kind of work with her. Let's address some things. You may need to switch up some behaviors. And I'll never forget this moment early on in the work. She was really looking forward to having coffee and some dinner with just a kind of a new friend, a rapport that was unfolding. And she comes to the office and she says, Sheila, that's another one that just didn't work out. I said, oh my God, I'm really surprised. You said she was really nice. It's something that you were looking forward to. And she said, I was, but she did something that really, truly turned me off. I said, what did she do? Well, we were having conversation, and a few times she kept saying, my husband says this, and my husband did that. And I kind of paused, and I was waiting for more. And I said, was that the term that offended you? She said, yeah, it's, I told her I don't have a partner, and we're in conversation, and she keeps referring to her husband, my husband, my husband. I didn't know how to take that. Was she just trying to make me feel bad, or what's going on here? And I tried my best to walk her through it. And I promise you, for 90 minutes, this issue around her insecurity, that she was not paired up. When she told me kind of more about this woman, the conversation, I don't think this woman meant anything by it. She's just kind of expressing. And I asked her, how did you want her to refer to her husband? How would you like her to say that? And you're just getting to know her, and maybe she's just trying to make the distinction. Had she said, well, John said this or Barry said this, you really wouldn't have known the difference. I feel somewhat silly even trying to explain it to you all. It was a really it was an interesting moment, because the fact that she hadn't taken care of that aspect of her perspective and her mental health, as far as I'm concerned, that cost her potentially a really great friend. And that is what will happen. That's what occurs. So, bringing things full circle, I want to jump into some solutions. I've shared with you some of the behaviors that you can easily encounter when you're dealing with someone who is broken And quite frankly, and I'm going to walk back to my car to get the umbrella, and we're going to continue the video. Sorry guys, it's not CNN. We got to go with it when it happens. The wind is picking up out here. So I want to get into the playbook, because more than anything, I want you equipped. I don't want you to lose sleep when you encounter these situations. So number one, this is the playbook, guys. This is a playbook when you're confused and broken people who are not accountable into your life. Number one, be wise and lead with compassion, and understand that these individuals, they are living out of hurt. They are living out of hurt. And 9 times out of 10, they're not aware of the impact of their behavior. It's something you can't change, and you can't address what you're not aware of. Now go back to that original story that I shared with you, where the gentleman said she was fighting me in a car because I left her for 10 minutes with my parents, who are sweet as buttons. It's like she wanted to fight. Guess what he found out? This is critical. Through more conversation with her and just learning more about who was dealing with, she had a very tumultuous relationship with her father. A lot of fights, a lot of anger, volatile household, and he did not need me to explain it to him. He said, Sheila, wherever she could, she was recreating that dynamic of turmoil. I'm a cool, chill person. I'm not interested in fighting with a woman that I want to love. Now, what he did very compassionately, and I applaud him, with great compassion, he released her. He released her in love and compassion. It was not about judgment. It was not about, harsh criticism, nothing of that. He realized, I'm dealing with someone, the brokenness is one thing. Probably he would have stuck it out with her, but the woman wasn't aware of it, and she wasn't actively working on anything and being accountable. So it's very easy to go into judgment. I realize that. Compassion is the way to go, because all of us at some point have dealt with something. Your job out here in life, live lifted, take care of yourself. It's hard enough to be accountable for ourselves, let alone taking that on for someone else. And we have choices out here. And I have to tell you that oftentimes the best thing you can do for a person, the very best thing that you can do, is release them. Because what will happen when people... I had this woman at one point, she said, Sheila, I'm here because I'm literally in my life by myself. There are no friends, there are no affiliations. I have to start looking at myself at this point. And a lot of times when things get uncomfortable, that's when people are willing and inclined to make changes. So that's the first thing. Lead with compassion, because when you're seeing that people are living out cycles of pain and dysfunction that have likely been unmanaged for a very long time. And a walk toward empowerment can be a long, tedious walk for folks. For myself, stepping into the light, the limelight, if you will, of empowerment, that took time and God's grace. Secondly, this is so important. And this is where the sensitive souls that are listening to this video, this is where I really want you to pay attention. Number 2, do not personalize that behavior. Because when you personalize it, what you're doing A very wise professor told me one time the number one rule of life, Sheila, in this work, it's going to be hard enough to manage yourself, but you have to stay out of the matrix. What is the matrix? The matrix is the dysfunction and the spider webs and the chaos of other people's mind. It's going to be hard enough to keep yourself on the straight and narrow. So the advice from my professor was great. You have to stay objective enough to stay out of the matrix. And when you start entering into this energy field, personalizing it, beating up on yourself, feeling bad about yourself, that's of no help. Then you have two people. You have two people who are compromised. And so one of the things that has helped me tremendously over the years, I always keep in mind the 99% rule. It doesn't matter who I'm dealing with. It could be the most balanced, elevated soul. And even if people are balanced and elevated, they do slip and have challenges. Or it could be someone who's completely, rough around the edges, you name it. I always tell myself, Sheila, you are experiencing 1% of this person. There's 99% that you don't know. And when things go sideways, it's very empowering to remember, I know what I've been shown. At any given point in time, I've had people, I want to tell you all, I've had people in my office over the years, dressed to the nines. You would never know what is happening in their life, in their spirit, in their mind, within their families. People driving Mercedes Benz, broke as hell. Folks, the leaders of communities, states, and having a very difficult time even leading their families. I'm going to tell you right now, don't take it for granted. You never know. You're only seeing 1% of what someone is showing you at any given point in time. Don't get that twisted. But Sheila, we laughed together. It was so great. We were talking, we connected. Yeah, what is so strange about that? You had a good meal, you connected for a space and time. That's back to 1%. You don't know what's going on the rest of the time for this individual. So the 99% rule is very, very helpful. I know sometimes you get your hopes up. That's happened to me too. Like a connection is so filled with promise. And sometimes it's not just an initial connection. There's people sometimes you've known for years, and you're comfortable with, and this is a safe space relationship. And they pop up, and go sideways or do hurtful things. So, the information I'm sharing, when you take it into your spirit, is powerful for all time. How I want to wrap up this message with you, where we're coming to our close here. This has given me more peace and comfort than just about anything I can imagine, where it comes to dealing with the triggers, the feelings, the emotions that broken people, when they enter your life, can spark. I want to refer right now to Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6. Powerful. What I love about scripture, oh my goodness, when you allow it to just wash over you. You want to talk about peace. So Proverbs 3, 5 through 6, lean not into your own understanding. Lean not into thine own understanding. And I'll tell you exactly how I hear that. I hear that as an invitation. We want to sort things out, So many times, we're grasping to try to make meaning, try to make it right. Over the years, and I'm still learning how to do this, you cannot go wrong by giving it to God. You cannot go wrong by turning it over to the Lord, because much of this, the problem is, going back to what I just said, you only know 1%. You're trying to make 100% of sense out of something that you know 1% about. And so that puts you in a position where you are reaching, grabbing, and grasping, trying to fill in gaps, filling in information. A lot of times it's faulty information, and it just won't sit right with you because you don't have all the pieces. But I'm telling you, who has the pieces? God has the pieces, so I give it to him. At the end of the day, your highest level of responsibility is to live lifted so you can elevate the other souls that are placed on your path. And I don't make this video as a woman who just kind of came off the turnip truck here. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. I know hurt feelings, perplexed. What did I do? What's going on? I get that. But having said that, life is just too short to stay in those places that are not advantageous to us spiritually, mentally, physically, anything else. You all, I hope that I've given you something to chew on as far as broken people who are unaccountable entering your life. If you're loving what I'm doing, please take a minute to subscribe, share the news of the channel with your friends and family. We take walks together every week. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.